Yeah, son shit, y'all ready?
I hope y'all are. This episode, this is educational, man. This is all about education. This episode is about the Head Start joint, like how Head Start started. The war on poverty. There's always a war going on in America. Every time you turn around, remember like the 80s, the irony of the 80s, matter of fact, let's even keep it a buck. The irony of the 80s was Ronald Reagan's wife. I can't think of a name right now. I want to say Kathy Reagan. I know that ain't even it. I know Barbara Bush was the first Bush's wife. Laura was the second Bush. I'm like, yo, what? Nancy Reagan, like, yo, war on drugs. While Ronald was like, yo, put that crack out there on the streets. Make it hot. Yo, oh my God, the irony of that. She's like, say no. And Ronald's like, nah, y'all better get this. Get this. Smoke this. Here. Smoke this. Smoke this now. You do our country a good service if you smoke this. Smoke this crack. Get it going. Go out here. Sell that. You sell it, y'all smoke it. We'll tear the whole black community down. And she was just got Gary Coleman hanging out beside her on her lap halfway. Just say no, Arnold. What you talking about, Mrs. Reagan? I don't know how that episode went. That was one of them down, yo. That was crazy. First of all, you knew Nancy Reagan was evil. Nancy Reagan had the big hair thing that all the bad guys in the 80s flicks had back in the day. If they was a chick, Alexis Carrington had that joint. You know what I'm saying? Or what's like the old ladies from Dallas, the old ladies from Falcon Crest. If you weren't the old mom, the grandma on Golden Girls, you was evil. Everybody, and even she could be evil. She could be a little bitter sometimes. But if you had that joint going on, the fro perm, you was evil. You was evil. You was an evil old white lady if you had that. That was just the evil old white lady thing. Like, yo. Ooh. And then they kick that. They don't know what they doing, but they know what they doing. Wink, wink. Yeah, man. Yo, y'all thought y'all had the Karens and all the Karen cuts. That was the ultimate evil old white lady joint, man. That was it right there. Matter of fact, I think it was like Cleopatra Jones or something. There's an older white lady who set it off in the 70s. She was like, yeah, this is it. This is how you get this started. Yo. But anyway, man, we about this education. And it's just Head Start was a good joint, man. Head Start was dope for me. I don't know, man, for everybody else, which is what I was saying on the thing, man. But anyway, education is fundamental, and it's even more fundamental now because they out here trying to take it from you. It's the people who are so quick to tell you people are sheep. Oh, they believe anything. They're sheep. We're the, you know what I'm saying? We're the ones standing up for the government. At the same time, want to strip everything away. They don't really want you to know history. I hate talking about that. But this is the education episode, so we can talk about that. It's the educational episode, y'all. Hey, I heard somebody, matter of fact, my man, Whitlock, Jason Whitlock, said it. And I say my man like we cool, we're not cool. My man Jason Whitlock stuff is popping up on my thing like I'm following him or something. I messed around and responded to something and then liked a couple, because here's the thing, like I always tell y'all, everybody that you dislike, if you listen to them long enough, there are going to be things that they'll say that you're like, yo, I agree with that. And there were some things he just said that I was like, yeah, I agree with that. I'm not a fan, but I agree with that. You know what I'm saying? And anyway, what happened is the Jason Whitlock thing. I'm scrolling through social media world. And I see this one joint where he goes, he's tired of Americans apologizing for slavery. That's something that happened in the 17 and 1800s. And I think, and now, I already sidetracked on one thing, but I'm coming back to that, because what I'm about to say then goes back to, I'm going to go back to the Jason joint. The thing about it is, this whole thing of trying to rearrange history or omit history or try to reinvent history, reboot it, whatever. A lot of that comes from white people not liking themselves. White guilt. White guilt then turned it into white shame. White shame then turned it into we must be extra apologetic and we're tearing down things. All of this stuff that happened with trying to redo history didn't hit until people started tearing down statues. That was it. Like, the concept of slavery being evil and white people being evil been in the game for a minute. When I say a minute, I mean for a long time. You don't believe? Pull up any Malcolm X pre-trip to Mecca. Malcolm X when he was still part of the Nation of Islam. That Malcolm X, pull up Malcolm X being a part of the Nation of Islam. That's all he's saying. When you listen to James Baldwin is saying the same thing. There is an inherited evil about you that you can hide or that you can actually disassociate yourself from. You just choose not to. You know what I'm saying? And that's that. And he's not even saying white people. He's saying the concept of being American and being white in America, right? So he's saying all that. This is not like none of this is new. And what do both of those people do? They reflect on the history. What did Martin Luther King do? Reflect on the history. Medgar Evers. All of these people, then they go back and they look at the history. Black Panthers, they look at the history. Back then, ain't nobody care. Whatever, man. Yeah, why don't you leave then? That was the vibe. If you don't like it so much, leave. Boom. There was no, let's try to act like history never existed. They didn't care. Why? Because the average white person didn't care. Why? Because the average white person was looking at it like, yo, that's a black person problem. Black Lives Matter movement put a lot of pressure on young, and that's the other thing about it too, young white people who listen to hip-hop, who are part of the culture, or the outskirts of the culture, and they at least rock with it. You know what I'm saying? Everybody that loves hip-hop isn't a hip-hop head. You know what I'm saying? So let's keep that real. There's people who are on the outside who go, yo, I like some of that joint. I vibe with these artists. I like those artists. I like the way, I like the sneakers. I'm a sneakerhead. I like the DJ stuff. I like this, and the third. I would never be a part of the culture though. But I like some stuff. I like some elements. You know what I'm saying? People who grew up watching black athletes, black actors, black musicians, and all that. You know what I'm saying? That group of people who've been around and had black friends who have probably witnessed, you know what I'm saying, racial discrimination towards their friends. Like, yo, that's messed up. I can't believe they did that just because he's black. Now they're out here wilding. Now they're out here going, you know what? This historic figure right here who has a statue, he owned slaves. He was pro. You know what I'm saying? He was working for the Confederacy. He fought for the Confederacy. This dude does not deserve a statue. And they ripped it down. That's when everybody started flipping out. They're going, oh my God. No. We got to try to rearrange history because they're making it look like whites are evil. Whites are bad people. You know what I'm saying? Now, here's the thing. I've said it before and I will say it again. I did not agree with tearing down the statues because those statues were up for a reason. There are a lot of pure evil high-ranking officials and politicians we don't talk about. We're talking about pure evil. Like, you'll never see a Nixon statue. I don't think. You know what I'm saying? Like, people aren't running around. People don't even speak on Nixon people don't speak on Nixon in a positive manner now. It's Nixon. Nobody's running around going, yeah, my man's Nixon was out here. Yo, nah, nobody speaks on Nixon positively. Nobody really speaks on Truman with positivity. Don't get it twisted. We are very selective. Like, I was in Kansas City. The Truman House, the Truman thing out there in Independence, that's a select few of people. That's people who are, you know what I'm saying, Missourians that are proud. Like ain't nobody actually going out their way to go, yeah, I want to go to Independence, Missouri and check out, you know what I'm saying, that joint. Nobody's doing that. Nobody's out here looking for that like that. You know what I mean? But we tore down these statues, and that's where all of this came from. Like, these were people who, like, despite the evil they did, they also did something that was a great contribution to the building and the molding and the shaping and the cultivating of this country. We can't, you know what I'm saying? It's one of those joints. Are we going to always continuously talk about somebody's evil or the bad things they did and not talk about the great things they did? If that's the case, Jay-Z's in trouble. If that's the case, 50 Cent's in trouble. You know what I'm saying? If that's the case, Bill Gates is in trouble. You know what I'm saying? There's some people out here who's done some really shady stuff. You know what I'm saying? And have turned their lives around and have done better things. So where do we go from there? That's the question. Now, getting back to Will, I was about to call him Wilbon. Whitlock. Wilbon and Whitlock. Matter of fact, switching subjects again just for a hot second. I know both of these brothers. Well, I guess not really switching the subject, because let me give you a quick history of my introduction to Whitlock. I was one of them kids in middle school that found himself geeking out. There were 3 geek things I would do on Sundays. There was this comic book thing that would jump off on the Sci-Fi Channel. That's how old this is. That's how long ago this was. The Sci-Fi Channel used to have a joint for comic books on Sundays. And I think, now this is the part where I'm a little lost. I don't know if it came before or it came after the sports reporters. Sports reporters came on at 10:30. I think it was after. Sports reporters came on at 10:30 at 10:30 ESPN. Dick Schaap, rest in peace to Dick Schaap, and all of, like, a whole gang of these dudes. You had Bob Ryan, you had Wilbon, you had Lupica, you had the guy, a man out there who wrote the book, The 7 People You Meet in Heaven, the sports writer for Detroit. You had all these people. And you know what I'm saying? Not all of them at the same time, but like the talking roundtable joint. But it was sports. It was like 4 people and a moderator, which was Dick Schaap. And you would just let him talk about whatever was happening in the sports for that week. And what was going into, what was jumping off most likely for the weekend and what was jumping off for the day. You know what I'm saying? And so it was dope. My introduction was Whitlock to that, because there was a couple of episodes where he'd be on there. Everybody had their parting shots. His parting shots were always race-related. Didn't know nothing about this. Fast forward years later, I find myself out there in Kansas City. Kansas City Star. He wrote, back then he was still writing a little bit here and there. He was with the Kansas City Star. Now you get to read his opinions. Now he's getting the bigger thing. Move on, fast forward in his career, he's now a complete television personality. He goes over there to FS1 and becomes something crazy. He now just like this dude who just has crazy opinions. I don't even think he talks about sports that much anymore. He's all over the place. But one thing's for sure, it was always about race-related stuff. Sometimes he was like, yo, okay, here's a guy who sounds like he's about that life. He's okay. Then there was times he was just like, yo, what? Huh? You know what I'm saying? He was a eye-catching dude. He controversial dude. And now bring it to the present. I see this thing. He's like, people need to stop being apologetic for what happened in the 1700s and 1800s. You can't say that you're a better person than George Washington and Benjamin Franklin and all these people. And my response, I don't even know if you can find the page or anything. My response is, I hate trying to type too fast and then the thing's trying to autocorrect and then you end up trying to stop the autocorrect and you mess up everything altogether. My thing was, I was like, that's all cool, but what about the 1900s? Ding, ding, ding. The 1900s is the 1900s. There are still people today who, I don't know if they're still alive at this very moment, but survived the Red Summer. There are people, you know what I'm saying? Somebody was talking about one of the first black students to have to integrate a school has a Instagram account, has a Facebook page. This is real time. Like, they can actually fall back and remember the insults from grown people. grown men and women. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what it was. It was grown men who bombed black churches. That wasn't a bunch of teenagers. Those weren't children. Those were grown men. Grown 9-to-5 having job, pay the mortgage, pay the bills, put food on the table men. Those were grown men who grabbed Emmett Till. You know what I'm saying? Grown man, politician in Alabama going, yo, get the guns, bring the tanks. This is not happening. We are not integrating. These were grown adults with children that were willing to shut down whole school districts to eliminate integration. You know what I'm saying? That was racist sheriffs pulling black people over during the civil rights movement, and nobody ever found them. Those were racist judges who, when they had to arrest those who were bombing and killing people of color, as well as white people who aligned themselves with the movement of the civil rights, that allowed the BS to go on. You know what I'm saying? Jury of their peers. And if they did get prosecuted, they you know, the judge was like, no. We're not gonna let y'all do anything, though. Click. Y'all good. It's all good. Go about your business. That's what we're talking about. And I think that's the part that while these historians, while these school districts and everybody, DeSantis, while all of these people are out here trying to talk about, man, we don't want that kind of history in our school. It's cool. I'm cool with that. You don't want slavery in the school? Fine. What about the 1900s? Like I told y'all, one of the coolest, craziest crowd got quiet moments on that Chris Rock special on Netflix is when he said, my mama couldn't go to a black, if my mama couldn't get to a black dentist, they had to go to a veterinarian. He was like, yeah, my mama, she's still alive. She's out in the audience. And the crowd didn't know what to do because we're so, I think they're trying their best to condition us to the point that that kind of disdain for another people was long ago. It's not. It was right around the corner. There are people who are still alive today that can go, I've been there. That happened. This is what happened to me. You know what I mean? So when I threw that out there, I had somebody go, oh, that's propaganda. That's just stuff that they told you on the news. It was all found to be wrong. Like, when? What? Huh? Nah. Black people were so into trying to look like the victim that they were burning their own churches? What? Okay. I guess. If you say Emmett Till killed himself, that's what you're saying. Then you know what I'm saying? Let's keep it a buck. Fred Hampton killed himself. Alright. If we want to go there with that. Alright. Martin Luther King told the doctors at the hospital, don't deal with me. Let me be a martyr. I don't think so. Because for those who don't know, that was really how that happened. It wasn't so much that the shot is what killed him. It was the fact that the doctors refused to help him. That's what I'm talking about. That kind of evil. We're just going to overlook that. That's what we're telling people. Don't worry about this, and the third. But back in the day, okay, cool. But what about the stuff in this last century? Everybody gets quiet. Everybody hushes. That's where I'm at. That's where the game gets crazy. And like I said, nobody can defend that. Because that is something that we can look back and the grandparents have lived through it. Great-grandparents, if they're alive, still lived through it. If you lived in the 80s and the 90s, you lived through it. You know what I'm saying? Like, we've been through that. We know what it's like. We've seen it. The game never changed. Like I said, I'm all cool for like, yo, let's never talk about slavery again. I ain't cool. I'm with you on that. Because all of a sudden, everybody's a historian when it comes to slavery. Oh, man, there was these kind of slaves. And okay, there was those kind of, all right, cool, whatever. I feel you. Yeah. You know, I roll to all of that. And then you come back around and go, but when slavery was abolished, the Devil's Punch Bowl. Boom, boom, boom. Everybody gets quiet. Most people don't know what that is. Then those who do are like, he pulled that out. He pulled that. How dare you? You dastardly man. You can't believe that you would do such a thing. Yeah. Do that joint. Talked about that joint. That's an episode of that floating around with us. So, yeah, man. The evils. And it's like, that just seems to be a thing that people want so desperately to get away from. And the easiest way to get away from it is to go, yo, we messed up, our bad, we're going to fix all of these things. And here's the wild part while we're talking about this educational system, it never happened. Never happened. There was still stuff going on that was to keep us separated. That's where the critical race theory thing comes in. They were doing the analytics on it, all of that. But anyway, that's not even the point. What I'm saying is, it was just wild to see my man say that, and I'm like, yo, he said that, and said it so dope too. Like, the 1900s didn't exist. Like, everything just got good once 1900 hit. Like, nah, man. What? Also, while we talk about education, and I had to do research on this. Let me be honest with y'all. Because my mind couldn't wrap around how these people are fighting so hard against gender, whatever, in school. I'm like, yo, is this real? Like, or did somebody just go, maybe we should try it, and then everybody just blew a gasket? No, it's real. It's real. Florida is not trying to take part of it. Maryland is. New York is. California is. Matter of fact, I think it's 17 states. I could be wrong. 17 states are. And then it's like, what do you teach? How do you come across teaching it? Like, what is the basis? Like, what is your base for that? Where do you start? Hey, Tommy doesn't want to be Tommy no more. Tommy wants to be Tanisha, Tamara. And then we just get into, sometimes you feel like it, sometimes you don't. It's like an Almond Joy Mounds commercial. Sometimes you feel like a nut, sometimes you don't. That's right. Angela wants to be Angelo then. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, we gotta respect that. You know what I'm saying? It's like, alright, I guess. But I can only accept this kind of conversation in high school. There's no reason to teach this in elementary school, because in elementary school, you can open the door. Hey, Bobby comes up in here dressed like a dinosaur every day. He swears he's a T-Rex. Did he just trans whatever to a T-Rex? Should we now address him as a T-Rex? Should I be worried for my safety because T-Rexes eat meat? Like, am I worried about being attacked by this dude at some point? Like, nah, he's good. He's alright. You know what I'm saying? Like, so where does the line get drawn for that? And children, anyway, I feel like this. If you're a parent watching parents condone or accept or guide their young children, not teenage children, their young children to transitioning to being like transgender, it's less about the kids and it's more about the parents. I'm sorry. That's just honest to me. That's the way I feel. That's parents wanting some attention. Like, yo, look at my kid. It has nothing to do with that. Because kids do stupid stuff. That's what kids do. Kids are stupid. Sorry, y'all. Oh, you probably think your kid's the brightest kid. Nah, your kid's stupid. Kids do stupid stuff. My kid wanted to be Robin for the longest time. He thought he was Dick Grayson. Then he wanted to be Steph Curry. Wanted to be Mario. He wanted to be a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle. You know what I mean? So it probably wouldn't have been, I wouldn't have thought twice if he woke up one day going, I think I want to be a chick now. Like, alright, yeah. And then I'd have to watch what he's watching. That would be my second thing. Like, oh, you want to be a chick? Alright, man, whatever, man. Now I gotta sit down here and watch what he's watching. Oh, this fool think he's Starfire now. He went from being Robin to Starfire. Alright, cool. Now he's speaking all weird. What is the you know, like Starfire? How do I do that? Oh no! You're like, yo, this dude is wild. You're wild, man. Yo, you're wild. Then you want to dress in purple all day. You went out here, you got you an orange wig. Then you just running around here looking weird. All right, man. Is that what you want? You want to go to school like this? Yeah. It would be so nice to go to the school like this. No. Are you really gonna talk like that? Let me see your report card. You lucky. You're smart. It is okay to be like this. I'm a genius. Yeah. Don't do that everywhere though. Don't. You know, you can do that in the house. Don't do that everywhere. Don't let me catch you coming from the school bus with the orange wig on. Don't do that. Alright. You know what I'm saying? Like, you just let it flow. Yeah, when you're a teenager and you start, and your kid is like, I don't know, man. I just don't feel. I feel like there's something else up with me, man. Now you got to have that conversation. But when they're kids, nah. Because by the time you're a teen, you kind of know something up, especially high school. By the time you get into high school, you know, and even, let me take that back. Let me take all of that back. People act as if we didn't grow up with gay people. People act as if we didn't grow up with people who felt comfortable dressing different. I remember going to school with dudes who were okay with putting mop heads on their head. Like it was their hair, and just walking around and do the dress up stuff with the chicks. We out here playing football and basketball. We wrestling, we tumbling, we're doing stupid stuff off the green tank. If you're not from around the way, you probably don't understand what the green tank is. The green tank is this big electrical box that was in the hood. You know what I'm saying? Because it really, like, you go to the suburbs, they don't have green tanks. I'm sorry, I've been to a lot of suburbs. You know what I don't see? I've been to military base housing and never saw a green tank. I saw green boxes, but I never saw a flat out big old where you can sit down with your peoples. It can hold about 3 to 4 booties. You know what I'm saying? On this joint, y'all, and it's yay tall. You know what I'm saying? Like that. Matter of fact, that's like the #1 sign. That's one of those, you know, you in the hood apartment complex where you can see the green tank. Oh snap, there's a green tank. You might be in the hood. Anyway, what I'm saying is, we're in the hood flipping off the green tank, and my man is still out here playing patty cake and Miss Mary Mac. Miss Mary Mac, Mac, all dressed in black. He doing that joint. He doing, I went to the store. What? And I got me some candy. What? You know what I'm saying? He doing that. We out here wilding. He out here, you know what I'm saying, gossiping. Ooh, girl, and then I seen the, you know what I mean? So you know, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th grade, yeah. And here's the wild thing. We never cared. Why? Because that was the homie. We grew up with you. We know. It be the outsiders. Yo, my man kind of fruity. Yeah, that's just dope, right? He always been like that. And here's the wild part. Everybody knew somebody like that. By the time you get to 6th or 7th grade, they be like, yo, your man just kind of, he kind of on that other side, man. What's up? Yeah, he always been like that, man. We knew him since 2nd grade. That's what he is. And then that stop and go, yeah. I know somebody like that too. Boom. Nobody is beefing. Nobody is wilding. So if this dude by high school starts coming off looking like, yo, I'm about to just start dressing there. He out here looking like Beyonce or something, dressed out, decked out like he's a hot wife. He's one of them, you know what I'm saying? He's one of them housewives from the spot, from Pick a City. It's like, he was always kind of like that anyway. Remember when we was in 2nd grade? He had the wig on, he put the Kool-Aid on his lips, and he was, you know what I'm saying? Sashay. had his mama heels on. We should have saw this coming. And you going about your business. Nobody cared. Now it's a big deal. And my thing is, I hate when people try to say they're forcing it on us. Nobody's forcing this on you. Here's the reality. Everything is more visible thanks to social media. You know what I'm saying? When you see these fat people on TV, like there's the 1,000 Pound Sisters, and they had a YouTube channel or something. They were stars. They were somewhat social media famous, or they were cyber famous, or whatever. How is there a term for it? Whatever the term would be, where you're popular online, and then they got the show. Why? Because people identified with them. People felt them, and a lot of those people looked almost like them when you see the show and they do the sit down and the meet and greets. Yeah, there's a lot of fat people coming to see fat people. Like, oh my God, you guys are inspiration. I can't stop eating either. It's like it keeps calling me. I woke up and ate. I sat down. Like the time it took me to cook my food, I was already eating on something else. Just, in a quick something in the fridge. Made my food, ate my food, passed gas a little bit. Got up, put my plate in the sink, grabbed me something else to eat. Woo! Seeing you guys made me feel comfortable in my skin. Thank y'all. That's how life works. Representation. A lot of gay people doing a lot of stuff. Nobody was tripping on cross-dressing and transgendering and all this when RuPaul first started her show. RuPaul couldn't get that show out the green room at this point. This would not be, the Drag Race joint would not be green lit today. What's the other joint that was on FX with the gay people and all that joint that they was doing for the nightlight back in Pose or whatever? Wouldn't even make it today. They be going hard at that joint. Will and Grace, they be going hard at that joint today. Like, let's not act like these joints was never around. Like, we never knew about these people. Like, this was never a game. Three's Company. And Jack was straight. It's almost like, and here's the thing to me personally, it's almost like if we can't make fun of it and we have to take it serious because they're really living this life, and there's a whole community that will be addressed, that's what we hated. Representation. So how do you teach that in school? That is a only thing you can teach in school is tolerance. That's it. Tolerance and how to approach the situation. Be respectful for what it is that they're asking. You can't teach a gay person how to not be gay, or a straight person how to be gay. You know what I'm saying? There's not enough influence in the world that's gonna make me go, yeah, I think I might be a little gay. Sorry, it's not. It's not at all. It's just not gonna happen. You know what I'm saying? For all the people who were like, yeah, I was a little curious in college. There's a gang of other people that was like, I was never that curious. Never crossed my mind. Nope, never thought about it. Me and my roommate was sitting there on a bored night, watching the game in the rain because it was raining outside, and never gazed in each other's eyes while we were eating the pizza. It was like, yo, dog, hey, I won't tell if you won't tell. Never happened. It never happened. There's people who are like, nah, never been there. Don't know what that is. Nah. Kept it pushing. You're not going to change. You are not changing anybody's mind if the thought never popped in their head anyway. The only thing you're going to do is make somebody go, okay, cool. Respect who you are and keep it pushing. Or there are going to be people who are going to rebel against that. Like, ah, man, forget that. You trying to tell me how I should treat people? There you go. It's going to be A or it's going to be B. You can't, I don't understand what the curriculum is. And like I said, I found out, there's 17 states that are like, yo, wholeheartedly going into this. Like, yeah, this is what we're about. And I just don't understand what that is. Like, what is that? What is that about, actually, is the question. How do you get there? What could be the thing that you're doing? Somebody please inform me, because I would love to know. Where does this go? I'm lost on how what is the curriculum to be teaching people? You know what I'm saying? Do you teach them, like, the best time to slide in the bathroom if you're transgendering is when nobody's in there? Like, walk in and go, hey, you don't hear anybody? Go in and do your business, because nobody who's straight would like to be offended by walking into a bathroom. And by the way, I also think the trans men have it far easier than the trans women. You know what I'm saying? Ain't no dude tripping if some guy who used to be a chick who got a bunch of facial hair walks in and goes straight to the stall and just unzips and sit downs and then starts peeing. You know what I'm saying? If anything, it's like, whew, because it was stinking in here anyway. Last thing I want to do is be in here. I hate going to the bathroom when somebody's dropping deuces. It's the worst feeling in the world, because you're just like, yo, oh my God. You hear it. You hear them making noises. You hear the gas they pass. You know what I'm saying? Then you start hearing other stuff happening. You're just like, yo, for real? Like, they want to hold conversations on the phone while they taking a dump. They want to start cracking open bags of chips while they taking a dump. You're like, yo, my dude, are you really eating and you're dropping deuces at the Or they're finishing up while you're peeing, and you watch them and you hear them walk out. I ain't gonna say watch them. You hear them walk out. You're just like, yo, I should have looked, because hopefully you don't, especially when it's a restaurant. You're like, God, I hope you don't work here. I gotta, you know what I'm saying? So it might be easier for a trans man. Trans female, I don't know. I mean, it might be easier too, depending on what you look like, I guess, right? Because if you look like you're a dude, put it this way, if you look like Chu Wong Fu, Patrick Swayze, and Wesley Snipes and them, they're gonna be looking at you like, I know you just didn't come up in this bathroom. You know what I mean? If you look like the transgender chick from Sense8, you might get a pass. If you look like the shorty from Orange is the New Black, you might get a pass. You know what I'm saying? It's like, yeah. But if you look like, you know what I mean? Some people ain't even shaving. They got the, you know what I'm saying? What's the trans joint? You know, they just got the whole facial joint. You're like, yo, you just put on some skirts, some heels, and you still got the whole full No Shave November joint. Okay, alright. Out here straight looking like one of Bray Wyatt's peoples. Rest in peace to Bray Wyatt. Out here looking like one of Bray Wyatt's peoples. And they got a skirt on. Like, yo, you wild, son, you wild. Yeah, that's it. Like, what else are y'all teaching? I don't know, man. I don't get it. My kid, I don't think they're worried about any of that. That's for like a whole other generation. And hopefully it's just teaching tolerance. There is no, and then if you'd like to, no. That is a discussion that you should have at home. You shouldn't be talking about that at school. Be tolerant is all we should be trying to figure out. I don't know about the sex educational part of the school classes, where you start with the sex ed and then they go, and then there's sometimes you just feel like you might be this. And it's like, no, not really. Nope, that ain't a thing. That's not a thing. And then you got a whole bunch of trans chick teenagers running around here going, I think I'm about to have my period. Are you writing sentences? No, you know, like my menstrual cycle. What? My menstrual cycle. I'll tell you what. If you start bleeding, you might want to go to the doctor. Because I know where the blood should be coming from. So if you're bleeding from anywhere down there, you need to go check a doctor. That ain't nothing to be proud of. Don't think that whatever you had going on is making that big of a transition in life. That in your mind, the body doesn't work that way. Go to the doctor. That's what I'm just saying. Anyway, this is that episode, man. We talk about Head Start. And we talked about Head Start because one of the people who was running it was a professor by the name of Edmund Gordon, a black man. It's like, yo, which by the way, we gotta do something about him also. But it's just dope. I was talking about how people didn't know what to do with Head Start, and they already was ready to criticize it and chastise it and get it out the way because it was a war on poverty. And they was like, yo, if that's what you're thinking is gonna help, whatever. And then you add in the fact that people of color were getting access to this program. And I also talked about how, like, at the end of the day, there were a lot of programs black people weren't supposed to be a part of. And some projects, and some plans and ideas and stuff that never saw the light of day because the whole thought was then black people will get a hold of it. Crazy how the game goes. This is that episode, the education episode. We should do more stuff about education. Education is a great thing. Higher learning, y'all. I love that movie too, by the way. It was a dope movie. I won't really feel it Tyra Banks joint, you know what I'm saying? All that. But it was crazy because then it, like, the most coolest white dude, Jewish dude in the world, Michael Rappaport, had turned to a Nazi. Which, by the way, when you realize that this dude is Jewish and still took the role, crazy. He was a great actor. They should have gave him yo. But anyway, this is what we do. This is how we get down. Thank y'all for rocking with me. East Coast, West Coast, worldwide. Do your research on this Head Start stuff. Do your research on the gender classes that the gender sexuality stuff that they got going on. Figure out what it is. I mean, like I said, I found out there was 17 states. I really didn't get deep into the curriculum because I just was like, yo, what could they? My mind first was, I couldn't even fathom what could you be talking about. Like, how do you present this in a way that doesn't include, first and foremost, be respectful? You know what I'm saying? Because I think that's really what it is. I would like to think that that's more about being respectful and inclusive and being welcoming and not so standoffish and hateful. And then I guess if you are transitioning or transitioning or you're gay or you're whatever, and there's a whole separate subgenre of your health class for you guys. I don't know. I'm just out here. I don't know. I'm just spitballing. That's what I'm thinking. Anyway, that's how it should be. This is this episode, and we will get at y'all later on, like next week sometime. Thanks for listening. Let's get into it. Yes. Look, I almost forgot what was going on and everything. I'm up here just rocking. And I'm like, ooh, hold on. I gotta, like, get back into the mix. You know how we do, man. This is what we do. And, yo, you know how we get down. Word up. Live at the Oasis Legal Crime Radio. You know what I'm saying? Word up. This is what we do. Try to get into this real quick and get up out of here on this real quick. You know what I'm saying? Get back into this music. Like I said, my bad, y'all. I'm out here geeking because it's been a minute, man. It's been, y'all ain't understanding when I tell y'all it's been, the last week was just a wild joint. But now we back, man. You know what I mean? What up? Anyway, take it from the top. We gonna take it from the top, like this moment in Black history. This is what we gonna do, man. School has started again. And here's a program that was started in 1964. I don't know if a lot of y'all went through it. I know I'm a product of it. You know what I'm saying? And then it depends on the era and the time frame. Head Start. Head Start started out with the initial thought of giving a leg up to kids in poverty, poor kids. Back then it wasn't called urban or inner city, it was just poor kids. And when you say poor kids, y'all know what that really means. You know what I'm saying? For the real. A lot of that was people of color, black people. You know what I'm saying? Poor white people too, but we talking 1964. It was definitely something targeted towards us. All states benefited from it. But it was one of them joints where it was like, yo, give them a leg up. Start teaching them early. Start developing everything early. It was basically one of those programs Lyndon B. Johnson came up with. You wanted to get that dope education and all that. Now, if you're wondering, why is this even a thing? Because because one of the guys who was in charge of everything, who was the director of the situation, was Edmund W. Gordon, a black man who was about that education life. He was about that education. You know what I'm saying? He was one of the head dudes who was running it. He didn't come up with the process. That was another dude. It was a white dude, a doctor. I can't think of his name right now. You know what I'm saying? And I'm up here just Googling, like, while I'm talking to y'all, because I totally forgot everything, you know what I'm saying, that I had in my head that I was going to say about this. But, yeah, it was basically like, yo, the whole point was they actually thought it was a worthless thing, thinking like, yo, you're just wasting time and money because you're lucky to provide something for people who aren't going to go anywhere. Like, they had already written people off like, yo, nah, ain't nothing going to jump off for these people. And it was like, yo, the game is so crazy. It was basically part of his initiative for war on poverty. And he was like, yo, what do we do? How do we get into this? And he started it, and he looked for ways to make it happen. Like I said, he brought in a bunch of people to get this process going. Edmund Gordon was one of those people who, again, is about education. And that's what made me think about it. And then the fact that here's a historical aspect of it, going off book a little bit. A lot of programs were pushed to the side or were not allowed to breathe because they did not want black people to access it. You know how long it took Medicaid and Medicare to hit the system, to hit the country, because they were like, yo, we don't want black people to get this. The suburbs were made not for us. The suburbs were made for people who look like me. You know what I'm saying? It was like, yo, we don't want no black people up in these homes. Nah, everything was basically like, there was when the New Deal, World War II joint jumped off, and also with the whole crash of Wall Street and all that, and the economic and all that, there was a thing on the mix. Like, yo, they was really trying to come up with a form of a universal health care. But when you say universal, that means everybody gets it. And Roosevelt won't down for that. Both Roosevelts had some real funky styles. Don't get it twisted. Nixon had some funky styles. You know what I'm saying? One of the things that we don't talk about, going back to Head Start, LBJ will probably go down as one of the most underrated presidents. Like, imagine this man. He's the guy who followed Kennedy by process of elimination. No pun intended. But I just realized that just sounds crazy, right? Anyway. And he basically followed through. Like, it was one of those things where Kennedy put a lot of things in motion, and my man stepped in and fulfilled a lot of moves. And he didn't have to. You know what I'm saying? Like, he really didn't have to. Because it was just one of those things where he could have been like my man who was vice president to Lincoln. And it was like, yo, Andrew Johnson. Andrew Johnson did not care. Andrew, like, once Lincoln caught that shot, you know what I'm saying? It was like, yo, whatever's whatever. Like, he was basically cool with getting ready to try to bring slavery back in the mix. For those who don't know, LBJ could have done the same thing and just let all of that go. Instead, he was like, yo, let's get a Voters Act going for the black people. We got this right here, this war on poverty thing going on. We're doing all, like, he pushed through a lot of stuff that Kennedy and the Kennedys were thinking about doing. And the movement for the Head Start thing was a big initiative joint. You taking kids about 2, 3, 4, and you're giving them that education, that early education, before they actually get into kindergarten. You're giving them a step up, a leg up on the situation. You're teaching them how to read. And education itself is trash now. You know what I'm saying? Like, the Republicans are really strongly talking about trying to get rid of the Department of Education. When I think about the stuff that I did by 4th grade, and kids now don't even know how to do in high school for the most part, it's wild. You know what I'm saying? Like, 2nd grade, we wrote letters to ourselves. We, like, literally wrote letters to ourselves. We were taught how to put the address on the envelope. You know what I'm saying? Where your address goes, where you're sitting it goes. Do you know your address? Do you know how to spell your address? 5409 Marshall Avenue was my address. 2nd grade, wrote a letter to myself. I can't tell you what it was, but I was geeked to get my letter. You know what I'm saying? That's the kind of stuff, like, kids, high school kids that don't know how to, you know what I'm saying, even acknowledge how to, like, write out a letter, and not just, like, to send it to somebody, but just the header. You know what I'm saying? They don't even know how to make a header joint, like, how to address to write properly. You know what I'm saying? We was taught that in, like, 1st and 2nd grade. Indent your paragraphs. Dear so-and-so. Boom. You know what I'm saying? Sincerely yours. Truly yours. You know what I'm saying? But with deep regards, whatever you know what I'm saying? Boom. Then you do the signature. We was taught that joint. Head Start was giving us that jump too, because we was already learning the ABCs. We were learning how to do this and that and the third. We were learning how to write a little bit. We still did the colors and to go outside and play. A lot of Head Start now is more like, you know what I'm saying, glorified daycare center. It's like they're not even learning anything. We was like, yo, I can remember my building. That's how wild that is. Right there off of Wickham Avenue, across the street from the Pearl Bailey Library. Salute the Pearl Bailey Bad News VA, stand up. Even when I got older and I would see the building, it hit me, man. Like, yo, I remember being in this joint, sitting on the floor in a circle with the legs crossed, learning the stuff, singing the songs to learn the stuff. You know what I'm saying? Taking stuff home and you know what I mean? Like, yo, learning how to count, knowing what was and what wasn't and what each coin meant. Like, yo, this nickel is 5 cents. If I got 2 5 cents, that's 10 cents. I don't need the dime. I got 2 nickels. Boom. But you know, you get older, you be like, yo, to save me some joint. Here's a joint. Dave Chappelle said that, and a lot of people didn't get it. When I grew up, that was the word. Case quarter. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, I don't really want to have all this change in my pocket. Anybody got some case? You got a case quarter? Yo, that was real talk. But anyway, Head Start was a good program. Like I said, a lot of people were hoping it would fail. A lot of people thought it was nonsensical to have something teaching these young kids like their brains aren't developed, whatever. And then here's the thing. Again, you fast forward, and there's like little kids that can tell you word for word the average song on the radio. You know what I'm saying? They can tell you this. They done picked up their mannerisms or their parents or whatever show they watch. So that it's like, yo, the mind is a sponge. You know what I'm saying? Put something useful in it. And that was, like I said, the war on poverty, that was a good step. It was one of those good moves. Like I said, I'm a product of it. A lot of dudes I know, a lot of chicks I know was a product of it. So it was, yo, what up? For what all that stuff they say when they say how they say what they say it, like, yo, it won't all that and that and the third. It is what it is, man. This was the Black History moment of the night. Get back into this music because I got like 10 minutes. My bad. Like I said, I'm bugging. I just wanted to play music. I got back on time, y'all. Let's do what we do, y'all. Y'all know how we do. We gonna set it off with my man, one of the dopest MCs who, if he wasn't in his accident, would be a problem. That's my time. I was running on some weirdness right now, but y'all know how we do. Oh, I just about to take it over on some reggae-ness. One day, man, we gonna have to do a whole reggae show. The 90s type joints, too. We talking like that early 90s to mid 90s. Nothing past like maybe 97, man. Like, yo, them joints, yo, salute to all the spots. They used to play reggae on the Sundays. You know how that went down, man. It was like gospel music. Then it had, if it wasn't the gospel music, the oldie but goodies, and reggae. You know what I'm saying? Like when you was traveling, that's all you heard. The oldie but goodies, the reggae, the gospel. All the stations did it. The 103 Jams back where I'm from. The Kiss back where I'm from. Hampton University, Norfolk State. Sundays was that. Fridays was like go-go. You hear a lot of go-go on a Friday. Then, you know what I'm saying? But reggae went hard. There was reggae shows. You know what I'm saying? Whole reggae segments on radios back on Sunday. We gonna take it back to them days, man, where it was just nasty with it. Word. Just dopeness. You know what I'm saying? The dancehall vibe was ridiculous. One of these days. I gotta get my reggae game up, though. I don't know. You know what I mean? But anyway, I'm up out of here. I'm doing too much talking already. I'm up out of here. I'm gonna holler at y'all Saturday. I don't know what we doing Saturday. We gonna just vibe out Saturday. You know what I'm saying? Who knows? Might even do Universal Soul Saturday. Who knows? We might do what we do. We just gonna have fun. Anyway, I'm gonna holler at y'all. Y'all be safe. Oh, shoot. I'm tripping. I'm up here about to salute y'all like that. They say you only live once. That's a lie. You only die once. So anytime that your God allows you to get out here and continue your journey, please show the world the best version of you. Y'all be safe. Peace. I thought I was about to like freaking with the flow or something on that. My bad, y'all.
This is a Soul of Art presentation.